on role of emerging media in the programmatic world. So in a world where privacy is king, programmatic advertising must find a way to evolve. As marketers navigate a fast evolving digital landscape, programmatic advertising remains a steadfast solution. So however, in a world where user privacy is a paramount, it must evolve to stay relevant as well. Privacy will continue to be a determining factor in a landscape long dominated by a deterministic data. Programmatic offers a marketplace with an infinite supply and infinite demand as well. And the data providers enable targeting the right people in a compliant fashion, all in a way that takes care of both the advertising side and the consumer side as well. And to put a light on this session and to discuss it in a detailed manner, we have our esteemed panel of experts. So without taking much time, I would like to take the honor to invite Mr. Pragnya Nanda, Senior Business Director, Dentsu X India. Please welcome Ms. Pragnya. Now I would like to invite Hemanshu Makatia, AVP Digital Buying and Investment Starcom. Please welcome Hemanshu. We have Mr. Siddesh Kerkar, Lead Marketing and Alliances, Aditya Birla Finance, Udyog Plus. May I have the honor to invite you, Mr. Siddesh? Would take immense pleasure to invite Mr. Gangasagar, Amula, Sales Head, India Business, Absen. Please welcome, sir. And we have our session chair, none other than Ms. Merlin Coutinho, Head Marketing and Brand Solutions, Lemma. Please welcome Merlin.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction, that was lovely. I am delighted to be the session chair today for this amazing panel discussing the role of emerging media in programmatic advertising, right? All our panelists here are representative of the ecosystem. We have a couple of people from the agency, we have the brand, we also have someone representing the supply side of the business. So without taking too much of your time, I'm just going to dwell right into the questions because we're short on time already, right? So to start things off and to get everybody on the same page, I would like to ask this question to any of our panelists, right? Can you define what emerging media is in today's context? We all have our understanding. In fact, there was a session this morning by Neeraj on emerging tech, right? All of us have a different notion about emerging media. So if you could just get the room on the same page before we proceed further into the discussion.
Hello, everyone. Merlin, that's a great question. The media, the emerging media in programmatic, right? If we talk about these, what are these? These are your digital outdoor, these are your online audio streaming platforms, gaming platforms, retail, connected TV, right? All of these media have been there for a while now. But the fact that now they are available programmatically actually changes the entire game of advertising. Because I think we had a very lengthy discussion before this panel started. I think we established the fact that post-pandemic, the consumer behavior, the way brands are choosing media has completely changed. The need for measurability in terms of seeing how your advertising spends are actually creating an impact for your brand is, I think, at peak right now. So the emerging media that I spoke about, the need to put all of this into a single one-platform ecosystem to ensure and to kind of evaluate how we are doing as a brand across various touch points in the consumer journey is extremely crucial. So that is where I feel emerging media and programmatic is at this point in time.
Sure.
So, just to add few important points out here is, the emerging media is a new way of the advertisers are now communicating with their consumers. The old methodology of showcasing the ads, I think, has been, it's been dying. If you see in today's world, the medium of augmented reality, the new age technology which has really come up well, like she mentioned, you know, we have audio in space, we have CTV, we have DOH. It becomes very easy for us in today's world with the help of programmatic buying, you know, to go and capture each and every audiences in particularly and reach them with the right sort of ads. If I want to give you an example, is dynamic creative optimization, DCO, plays a very important and vital role while we are showcasing our ads to a consumer. A right kind of an ad, can convert 40% of additional ROI as compared to the existing media plans or existing media buys we used to do it. Yeah.
I think most of the things Pragnya and Hemanshu has covered, but emerging media, according to me, I would say is it's just the change or it's the evolution of the current set of media that is there in the market. There's nothing which has come new. Digital outdoor, which was previously outdoor, it's still outdoor ad. Even if you're talking about connected TVs were still there. So it's just the evolution that has happened of these mediums, and that's what emerging media, as we call it. It's the new way of looking at the same set of mediums that are there. And these mediums have now become more smarter. So I think that's the discussion that we're going to have today, like how these mediums have become more smarter and how can brands as well as the planners utilize these things in a better way.
Thank you, guys. So I think the panel here has very much defined what emerging media is while also highlighting the benefits, right, from each perspective, where Pragnya told us about, how it's easier to buy from a single platform. So did Hemanshu and even Siddesh for that matter. So my next question to you is, Siddesh, how do you see emerging media through programmatic advertising helping you in targeting consumers and maybe even displaying personalized ads, especially when there are mediums like CTV or DOH, which is one-to-many, and then you have VR, etc., which is a very hyper-personalized sort of medium in itself, right, one-to-one. So where do you see your brand placed in this entire thing, or how do you plan around all of this, making sure you're reaching the right audience without essentially moving away from what you want to put across?
I think emerging media has helped a lot, or it has made planning a bit more exciting. So simple, if I'm doing an outdoor campaign, previously it was a case where we used to understand the right touch points of the user, where I'm going to get the user, and I used to put my outdoor hoarding there. Today I have the flexibility to say that I want to put my outdoor hoardings, but at a specific time of the day, in a specific location. Let's assume that the example that we were discussing, if there is a forex exchange brand which wants to do advertising, today if he had to take out of home, he would have to take out of home outside the airport, and he would have to take it for the entire day. But most of the forex exchange people would actually travel in the night when the international flights are coming and going. So now the flexibility is there that he can only advertise for that specific kind of a time period and pay for only for that specific time period. And then that same hoarding gets shared between 2, 3, 4, 5 people. And hence the reach increases. So if today he was going to place it on 4 airports without having that flexibility of digital OH, he can now increase the reach to 7, 8, 10 airports with the same kind of budgets. That's how these mediums are actually helping to plan better, to reach out to the audiences in a better way. Similar thing has happened with CTV or any other mediums for that. Previously, we used to buy the channel or the platform based inventory. Today, we are not buying platform or a channel based inventory, we are buying the user based inventory. Again, the precision has increased, and then the messaging is something which is the key factor that you should work on, and that will actually help you deliver results in a better way.
Great. I think that answers the question. I think the point that Siddesh is trying to put across is when it comes to targeting, we also have contextual signals that can be utilized over and above the data that we have in place, right? My question to you, Sagar, is we're talking about, convergence of media from every which way thanks to programmatic, right? As a representative of the supply side, how does this integration or convergence work in your favor, especially from the industry that you come and represent on the stage here?
Yeah. So at Absen, we believe in giving a right product to the consumers. And when we say that, we are very critical about the pain points in the market. When I say the pain points, it is not related to only the customers of us, but also the indirect customers who are the marketeers, okay? And when we talk to them, when we understand them, that there is a need of bridging the gap. And the gap is how I can build a screen which is actually doing programmatic and also doing some kind of an analysis of the screen and showing the advertisers that, hey, this is your requirement and this is what I'm going to say. As Siddesh mentioned, that today we are talking about how we can limit our resources to give the optimum results. That is what we are trying to do it. At Absen, we are thinking about building the ecosystem. And when I say ecosystem, we are collaborating with partners where we can make solution for the end customers and make sure that they are, at the end, are the winners. That's how we are doing it, Merlin.
Great. So now moving more into how creatives and storytelling through emerging media is also evolving because there are so many new mediums, right? So this question is open to you, Siddesh or Pragnya, whoever wants to take it. How do emerging media formats influence the storytelling or the narrative building perspective of advertising? Of course, does programmatic enhance it further, or are there challenges? You can address both.
I think programmatic or emerging media as a particularly, from a creative point of view, nowadays it is a two-way kind of a communication that can be done. So even if you're on a CTV, if I'm showing an ad to you, previously on a TV, I would have shown an ad to you, but then that ad would just have been a one-way kind of communication. Now I can say you can take action. You can click on this particular link or you can do something, and that becomes more kind of engaging creative. Similarly, from a point of view of digital OOH, if we talk about, I was just having a discussion with one of my friend and he was saying, Siddesh, I'm planning for a campaign, but I have doubt कि कौन सा language use करूँ creative में. Okay, should I go for English or should I go for some regional creative? So I said, you are doing a digital OH campaign, so why don't you do one thing, split it in such a way that for a few set of days you're showing your regional creatives versus your English creative, and then see what kind of performance you're getting or uplift that you're getting. So those set of things have become very easier. If I am doing a campaign, previously on an outdoor, it would have just been a static kind of a campaign. Today, I can run creatives which are motion-based creatives, which are GIFs, and I can then see what kind of uplift I'm getting in my numbers. So that is how things are happening, and creativity is something which is coming up a lot.
True. Thanks. Pragnya, please.
Yeah, so I think Siddesh pretty much covered it all. But see, the fact that, the consumer is now present across multiple media, right? The entire journey until when it reaches that decision where they finally want to purchase a product, it's no longer linear. There's multi-touch point there. And with emerging media coming into place, I think it's extremely important that brands leverage all the ad formats that they come with, right? Of course, the fact that programmatically you can personalize your ads, is the tip of the iceberg, right? Personalization at scale is the way to go about now, be it irrespective of whatever vertical the brand is from, or irrespective of how big or small the brand is. Personalization is being enabled through programmatic. And I think this is something that every brand should be leveraging. So to your question, how important or it is in today's world, it's extremely important. So, yeah.
Great. So do you have an example of a brand who's probably done that and done that really well, because you deal with brands almost on a daily basis?
So I've had the chance to work on multiple sectors. I think I have two examples that I would love to kind of share with everyone. One is for a skincare brand. Of course, today we see a lot of brands in that category. I think with the skincare brand that I was working with, obviously there were various kinds of a single product variant, right? So there'll be like 10 moisturizers, there'll be multiple cleansers. How do you ensure that, and of course each of those products have their own USPs, right? They cater to a specific skin concern. So how do we ensure that we're showing the right product to the right person? India as a country has different climates all across the regions, right? So winter might start in October in certain states and might actually never come through in a place like Mumbai. So then there is a certain product that caters to a humid region like Maharashtra or Mumbai for that matter, and a certain moisturizer that caters to Delhi and further up. So ensuring that the right product with the right messaging, giving the weather, considering the weather that is actually there at that point in time, and marrying this with hyperlocal solutions. I think the ROI increase that we saw for this brand was tremendous, and this is something that programmatically we could do, right? This level of personalization at a scale is something that we would not have thought of, for even 7 or 8 years back. But being able to do that at this point in time is something that we can do with the resources we have at hand. The other example that I would like to take is of a travel category. It was one of hotels that I was working for. And here, basis what kind of bookings, basis the history of the kind of bookings and the place of booking and the kind of room this consumer has booked, because we were tracking all of this data, we could personalize the messaging at scale again, and show a very customized, recommendation-led creative to the consumer, where you say that, oh, because you've done XYZ kind of booking in the past, you know what, maybe this summer, coming summer in the month, maybe this ABC place makes sense for you. Maybe this room you'll find at a better cost. Here is an offer that you can avail. So this was kind of a strategy that we could do for about 120 odd properties at the same time, and the real-time results actually helped us analyze and create a better strategy for the upcoming, in travel season. So, yeah.
Great. Those were some really good examples. And to add to it, I think taking that customization into media like CTV or DOH, which otherwise was very difficult or next to impossible before programmatic, I think that is also leading the way in terms of how programmatic enhances the overall creativity, the storytelling across media channels that were not previously available, right? So great examples, Pragnya. Hemanshu, since you represent and deal in a lot of daily trading and buying, not otherwise, mostly media, right? But how do you see opportunities or challenges when it comes to emerging media space, especially when a lot of things are not standardized across the board, although they are digital, but there is still disparity. So I want to understand from your lens as an agency representative, how do you see this working for you?
So, when it comes to the opportunities, obviously there is a great scope of opportunity when it comes to emerging media and programmatic world. Like for example, the decision making becomes very very easy. What sort of platforms I need to adapt? What sort of where I need to park my investments? Which platform which will give me the best ROI? I can get everything on a single platform rather than going individually checking with everybody in the media space. Because everybody, in today's world, everybody tends to say that I am number one. But of course, the content what they generate, the content what they have. But with the help of emerging media, yes, the decision making it becomes very, very, very easy. On top of that, we get a lot of other practicality in terms of the products what we have in place, right? Say for example, if I just wanted to have an AR or a VR, I can just go to Snap and I can just do it for my brand. Say for example, if there is a launch of a car portal or a car, sorry, I can do n numbers of things with the help of programmatic buying or emerging media, tapping into DOH. I know the fact that, for example, in North my sales for particular car is high, so I can go and directly target the airports, the streets, everywhere. So those are the good ways of parking my investments. And in today's world, as an agency guy, where every single penny is been important, and we need to be answerable to our clients, transparency plays a very important role again. Yeah, because if we have a dashboard in place which is completely transparent or self-serve, which again helps in terms of reporting how much money is been invested or parked. Yeah, the challenge what I see is still when it comes to brand safety. Yeah, still the things have been not that organized. Things have been evolving. So I think down the line, companies who have been providing brand safety solutions will come on board and help us in terms of giving us more solutions or help us resolve our issues when it comes to brand safety. So that is one challenge I see which needs to be worked on. Yeah.
Great. So we've got hardly 5 minutes left, and there is a lot to talk about. But I'll move on to the next question, which is more about scalability using emerging media platforms to programmatic, right? How scalable is it? How suitable is it for verticals, right? Can all verticals work with it? Is it only cut out for a specific vertical? And also a question we had earlier in the discussion, right? Are brand marketers moving budgets from traditional media, so to say, into emerging media? Siddesh, you could take this one.
So I think it's not specific to any vertical or a category. Emerging media can be used by all the verticals, be it a BFSI, FMCG. It's just you need to define how you want to use it and define the expectations from the medium properly. Today, whenever I get a question from my boss saying that how are we going to track the entire thing, I feel very happy because 10 years before, if there was a TV campaign or a radio campaign or a print campaign that was going, there was no questions being asked. Can you track? कि किसकी वजह से कितना impact में हुआ, क्या हुआ? We used to just do it. But today those questions are coming up. And these emerging platforms which are there, the way they are actually trying to give the amount of innovations and those set of things, I think all the set of verticals can be fitted in that particular ecosystem. It's just how you want to use it.
Great. Pragnya, do you want to add to that?
So, yeah, I mean, it's not like Siddesh very correctly said, right? It's not specific to one single vertical. It depends on where the brand is in their growth journey, right? We see a lot of new age brands take the digital first approach. where a lot of this emerging media is being leveraged in their media mix. But the way a new age brand would, irrespective of the category, would leverage these emerging media would be very different from how a legacy brand would leverage these media, right? The purpose or the kind of consumers they're trying to reach is also going to be very different. Yeah, so I think it's agnostic of what kind of vertical this would be the most relevant to. It's there, I think it is there, and it's a bandwagon that all the brands should be joining in whatever way they can.
Great. I second that thought. I mean, you can't limit ideas to a vertical, but for everyone to use, right? And because we're running a short on time, I'm going to club two questions together because everything is about data and privacy. We cannot wrap up this session unless we talk about it, right? In the emerging media space, through programmatic lens, of course, how do you see data and privacy issues being addressed? Or how we as marketers can take care of it, or even from the perspective of supply side of the business, right? How do we provide that assurance that all of this is, ethical and nothing that's happening otherwise, right? And secondly, I would like to also sort of understand how data can be leveraged for other purposes so that a seamless omni-channel experience is then provided. Also the difference between innovation and being practicality, where we are not going into borderline creepy with our consumers. So these are like 4 or 5 questions put together. All of you can answer this, right? Hemanshu, if you want to start.
So, when it comes to data privacy, I think, there is a good scope of, a consumer passing on their data in today's world. And because of that, every consumer has been having a customized ads, okay? Say, for example, many of us would have gone in this trap of buying a shoe online without knowing a size. Okay, that level of data which has been passed and a purchase has been done. Just because the ad was, firstly, I was not interested in buying a shoe, right? But just because that my data was there and my preference was there, a customized ad was being showed to me. And I went and I bought the shoe. That was a different story altogether. I returned it back. But yeah, so that use of data I see in today's world, it's very much important.
So I think data sharing and data privacy, we have a lot of tools which are taking care of all those set of things. As I said, the mediums are the same. Okay, it's just that the mediums have evolved. So I don't see a very big challenge with respect to data privacy. From a user's point of view, what I would suggest is let's not be too personalized. So when I'm saying that outside the airport, if we are showing a ad for exchange, you show a flight coming from US, you can show them what's the rate of the US dollar currently that you're offering, but don't go in to the level saying that Siddesh, this is the rate, kind of a thing. So that becomes thoda sa
going extra mile, yeah.
So you just need to figure out that particular limit till which you need to personalize the communication to the user, where till that point of time where he is not feeling that insecurity, and then he's trying to get into those data privacy issues.
So, Merlin, I feel personally that this kind of challenges will be there today we are talking about, maybe tomorrow we will meet, we'll be talking the same thing. There will be tools, there will be some kind of mix what we can do and what we cannot do. And at the end of the day, we need to get some data, because data is everywhere. Unless and until we get some data, we cannot do programmatic. And with this particular data, we are not, as Siddesh rightly said, that we cannot go personalized, but at least we should know what exactly it is, because digital spends are growing. And when I'm saying that digital spend are growing, the time is also very time bound, means we need to do a lot of activities in a small time. And with that, I need to optimize also. with the same amount of time, I want to optimize my ROI. What kind of questions which used to not asked before, they are getting asked now, that what is the ROI, how you are driving your sales, whether this campaign going to work. This everything going to be addressed through programmatic only. That's the only way out. It's only that how much data we need to use, what is the line, and this going to be the discussion forever.
Great answer, Sagar. I think on a parting note, just one last thing for all of you all. Since we're talking about emerging media, what is the trend that you see that's going to happen this year, early next year? What are you all, gunning for as marketeers? What do you want in emerging media?
So I think, the boom that we had predicted about decade back, where, we used to, in the passing, say that media mein bada scope hai. I think we are at the cusp of that boom right now. It's an extremely exciting time to be in this field. I think we're living the best lives that way. So there are a lot of trends, and that the ones that we, I think, spoke at length about, and really looking forward to be part of the innovation that we keep talking about.
Great. Any very quick, it's...
See, the platforms are evolving. Now it's time for us to show our creativity as marketeers and create the disruption which is required.
Great. So we are hoping for some great advertising from Udyog, for sure.
Yes, you'll soon see it.
Great.
So not only Merlin from marketing point of view, but from the product point of view also, there is a lot of innovation happening. How to stitch this pain points and how to get it addressed. Not only addressing the programmatic thing, and we are also seeing that how these LEDs, because every LEDs or the displays, what we see on the screens, okay, every display is a different display. How exactly we are trying to interact with the consumer with what kind of colors or what kind of attributes, anamorphic is again coming up very well in the market. How to address those kind of requirement in the market. We are just trying to do our best in getting the right product in the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll just touch point on one single thing, data. Data has become so important, which has gone into the granularity of our daily lifestyle. The way we are purchasing our stuff, using things, and behaving. A behavior in the form of contextual targeting has become very important, and this way, then this is going to get really evolved in this space. So I look forward, to get more exciting, creative stuff from the partners.
Great. Thanks, guys. I think this panel discussion can be a whole new event because there's so much happening in emerging media. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this panel, and thank you, Indian Television, for allowing us to host this year today. Thank you, guys.
Thanks to you as well for bringing out the best, Merlin, from all of our experts. And thank you so much, each one of you, for sharing your expertise, your knowledge, and giving perfect examples as well. Thank you once again. Now I would request Merlin to please felicitate all our experts who are with us, starting with Pragnya Nanda. Thank you, Pragnya. And may I kindly request all of you to please give a huge round of applause for all our speakers on stage, and of course, to our session chair as well. Now we'll move on to felicitate Hemanshu Makatia. Thank you, Hemanshu, for joining us. Moving on to Mr. Siddesh Kerkar. Our gratitude to you as well. We're really glad to have you here, Siddesh. Now to Mr. Gangasagar. वैसे ऐसा कहा जाता है कि सारे तीर्थ बार बार गंगा सागर एक बार. I am loving your name. Yeah. Thank you so much.